RISC Zero is a company that produced the first general purpose ZK VM that can run ordinary software. So we can run Rust or C++ code inside of a ZK. And I think that we have sort of led the industry in building this technology. So we have our RISC Zero ZK VM. And in addition, we're now working on building sort of the next phase of our company, which is boundless. We call it the Universal ZK Protocol. And what it does is it allows anyone from any blockchain to be able to request off-chain execution of arbitrary programs, get that execution done by a decentralized, censorship-resistant pool of provers, and get that result back on-chain and verified and paid for with the native currency of that chain. I've been following ZK for years, and I'd realized a long time ago that ZK could potentially really change scaling in blockchain in a fundamental way. But for a long time, the performance just wasn't where it needed to be. And then in 2020, with Eli Ben-Sassan's invention of the Stark, I started penciling out the numbers, and it looked like it might in fact be possible to really make ZK performant. But when we looked at the question of how do you program ZK, the notion of sort of building custom circuits was very alien concept for most programmers. And as a result, it was very hard to develop. And then, my co-founders and I, discussing this problem, figured out that what if we built a VM that emulated a normal processor, like a RISC-V processor? We could build one ZK circuit that did that, and then we could run ordinary software within the ZK circuit. Of course, many people at the time thought that the performance of doing that would necessarily be quite poor, but it turns out that with a lot of engineering effort, you can actually make it go very fast. And at this point, most of the fastest sort of proving is done by ZK VMs because, a huge amount of optimization can be put into that one specific case, and it's actually easier to optimize for the general case. I think that was the start of the new revolution in ZK, which we're still seeing the effects of. Yeah, so fundamentally at RISC Zero, we've always been extremely focused on security. People sometimes forget that the blockchain space as a whole is in some sense a security product, and certainly a ZK VM is absolutely a security product, which means that, and actually my background and the background of both of the other founders, we come from, the security industry. So we take security as the absolute most critical component. In terms of the kinds of security we care about, many of the sort of normal implementational concerns, but in particular, we also care about the security of the proof system itself at a cryptographic level. And of course, the most critical component of all is our ZK VM's circuit that defines makes sure that the programs actually truly execute with proper RISC-V semantics, as well as the fact that it's impossible to produce an incorrect proof that does not match RISC-V semantics. So that's really, in some sense, the heart of the security concerns. While we do have a great security background as an internal team, it's always important to get an outside view on these things. And we, talked to a number of different folks. We talked to, some of our VCs, other people on our cap table. We talked to friends of mine in the security industry as well. And, I think when it came to anything related to this space, Veridise's name kept coming up. And so they were one of the people that we looked at and ended up selecting for this particular project. Oh, I think Veridise is a super upstanding group. I think they were very professional and did an amazing job. And I think because of working with them, we were able to achieve goals that we hadn't even set out to achieve. They went up effectively above and beyond. So I think when we first, went to scope out the project, we had a great kickoff meeting. Folks flew down to have whiteboarding discussions with us to figure it out. We discussed what we were all trying to accomplish. And one of the great sort of things that we came up with in that discussion is how can we not only sort of prove the sort of safety of our circuit by a manual audit, but how can we actually bring in tooling that can help automate the verification and not only make it possible for us to check it right now, but to actually keep that up to date in the future. And then every week, we had conversations on Slack asynchronously. The Veridise team was very responsive. We did sort of a weekly synchronous meeting to help sort of catch anything that fell through the gaps or just places where communication wanted to be more fluid. Everyone was always, super professional and responsive. One of the biggest causes of soundness failures in ZK circuits is a non-determinism, places where the circuit can have multiple results, all of which meet the constraints. And in fact, most of the soundness failures that have happened in practice all come down to this kind of non-determinism. So Veridise had an amazing tool which can help a Picus, which would allow us to sort of verify the determinism of our circuits. And not only were they able to sort of run this on our circuits by ingesting them and figuring out how to translate them into the format that Picus had, but they actually worked with our compiler team to help figure out how to integrate our entire compiler structure so that we could effectively do this in a more automated way. Typically, you think about an audit and people think of it as a manual process to verify a single point in time. And while that's absolutely great and an absolute bare minimum from a starting perspective, with this integration we were able to automate and search for to prove that there were in fact no points with non-determinism, which is a much stronger requirement than just nobody can find any. And moreover, we were able to do it in a way that will allow us to continue as we make improvements to the circuit to be able to make sure we meet that high bar. So amazing work. I just want to say that, I think we made the right call on this project. It was a very wonderful to work with the Veridise team, and they certainly exceeded my expectations.